Thank you again for joining us today in Community Chats. Today, we're going to be talking about Pranic Healing. And my name is Sandra Arevalo, and I'm the Director of Community Health and Wellness at Montefiore Nyack, always bringing you programming with health education and wellness and resources in the community so that you can get more and more informed and can get better, take better care of your health. So today we're going to be talking about pranic healing. And if you don't know what pranic healing is, we're on the same boat. Because if it weren't for Coach Nupur here, I would have no idea what pranic healing is. But actually, we were at a community fair. I don't know if you remember this, but we were at a community fair and she approached me and she's like, do you know what pranic healing is? Well, I'm a pranic healing coach. Do you remember that?
I do.
And she's like, here is my card, and I would like to talk to the community about it. And here we are, maybe a year or more later.
Yes.
But finally, we could do it. So I want to introduce you to Coach Nupur. She's with us today. And why don't you tell our participants how you got into all of this, and she has a beautiful presentation for us today. And please don't forget that we're really doing this for you. So use the chat, the Q&A, ask questions, share stories. We want to make it as interactive as possible. So she's going to do her presentation, and then afterwards we're going to be addressing all your questions. So I really want to encourage you to interact with us. It's nice when you guys do that. It helps me a lot, to be honest. So Coach Nupur, tell us about you, please.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Yes, I do remember me meeting 1 year back, and here we are, and I'm very feeling obliged to be here. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for taking care of the community that we all belong in, because we can do the work together, as we talked about last time, and we are all in the same field doing the same things. So as far as I'm concerned, I call myself Coach Nupur because I want to be known by who I am, not by any surnames or anything. So I think as a coach, it's very important to be who you are internally and externally. So that is that I just wanted to share that story because you asked me the question. Having said that, I started my coaching and healing journey in 2009, which is like way back, roughly 15 years or more than a decade back. I just wanted to help people. And I knew as a time I was growing up, I didn't have much people to talk to and have a non-judgmental thing. So I just wanted to be there for the people. I just wanted to do something. And I thought, okay, what better way to do than, coach people? And later on, I found pranic healing. And I've been to many other modalities, but I stuck with this one. You'll figure out soon as I'm going to share my presentation. But as far as pranic healing goes, it's the energy healing modality in which we just use our hands. It's non-touch therapy, so we do not touch the patient at all. Okay, and it is that we believe that we do have our physical body. I don't know how many of you believe in that we have something much more than our physical body. We have something which we call our etheric body, which is our energy body. And then we have like a mental body where what we think is a part of that body. What emotions we feel, it's a part of our body, or the spiritual aspect, that's a part of our body, and we're here as a soul. And once we evolve all these aspects and we just go back to our higher person, high above, and then come back to learn more and share more and do more. So that is one of the major aspects of pranic healing, which is a variety or repertoire of stuff that it offers. Having said that, in energy healing, we believe that the energy manifests first in your energy body. If not taken care of in an energy body, it starts manifesting in your physical body. So all these physical issues that you see today in the world, and the emotional ones, the mental issues that we are coming up in the world today, if we do not deal them for a very long period of time, it manifests itself as a physical ailment in the body. which means to say it is also having a proactive approach to having a healthy body. So healthy body is not just physically, it's also emotionally, mentally. And I'm certified as an energy psychotherapist. So I do a lot of energy work. I do a lot of healings in terms of emotions. And I have a lot of patience and I can talk in hours and hours about it. But I hope I've answered all your questions.
Yes. And
Um,
I don't know if you want to share your screen to start
I
your
will.
presentation.
Yes.
So go ahead.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you for the beautiful introduction. I think that it already sets us in the mood of what we're going to be listening.
Yes.
That's great. And I
So
totally agree with you. I think that we're physical, but we're also very emotional and spiritual. And there is definitely some energy, right, that comes and goes that we need to learn how to fix. So anyway, go ahead. You can share your
all
screen.
right. So from the energy perspective, I want you to take a deep breath in.
Yeah, but
Sit,
give me
relax.
a second. Are you sharing your screen? Because
I will be sharing the screen
not yet. Okay.
after I do this. So I want you to all focus, and being an energy healer, let's focus on our inside. And when we are focused on the inside, the slideshow will make more effect for you, because you're going to understand from what perspective I'm coming from. So I want you to just relax, take a deep breath in. Focus on your inside. Think of things that you're grateful for. I mean, I'm grateful for your invitation. I'm grateful I'm sharing all these with you. And just be grateful. Just be in the moment. Okay. So take a deep breath in. Let's calm ourselves down. Inhale. Hold and exhale. Hold. And now we're going to move on to our next segment, which is pranic healing. So this is presentation I made for pranic healing when we were doing COVID healings, and I'm going to talk more about it and why in particular COVID, because you know that in COVID we could not touch our patients, right? So what better modality than you can sit at home and heal your patients, be a service while you're home. So have we been doing that? So moving forwards, this is how we started. Okay, let me see. Why is that not moving? Hold on. Okay, 1 second. Let me see what's going on. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so I think I will have to play one by one. Let me share it again with you. Sorry about that. All right, can you all see my screen, I believe?
Yes, we are seeing your screen now.
Let me try it again.
Okay. That's perfect.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so let's start with the introduction. You heard about me, and my pranic healing journey started in 2009. I'm a certified energy healer, psychotherapist, a basic class trainer, which means I teach. I've been global trotting. I was born in Delhi. I've lived in UK. I've lived in Basel, Switzerland, Geneva, Hampshire, UK, and now I'm in New York. I'm port leader of Healing Pods for COVID since March 2020. Which I actually traveled to India and I got stuck there in the lockdown. And that's how I started my journey. I was just going for some work and I got stuck. And that's how my journey of COVID healing started. I'm a certified angel card healer. I'm also a certified professional coach. And my motto is, I believe that life is a series of change. And after every milestone, we need to reinvent ourselves as our very being changes. And with those milestones, like you can do the same things which you were doing in school, right? That's an example. Moving that, what is pranic healing? So pranic healing is a no-touch healing therapy based on the fundamental principles. It has very basic fundamental principle that we use life force that has been given to us, which in our field, we call it energy or prana. And that is what is needed to improve on our innate ability to heal ourselves. And it is practiced in hundreds and thousands across the world. And when I say inborn ability, let me clarify that. If you have a cut on your hand and you burn yourself, what happens? it takes a day or two and it heals itself, right? So our bodies have an innate healing quality, which is God gifted, by which we heal ourselves. What we do as pranic healing is catalyze that process. There are thousands of so-called miraculous healing stories that have been documented, and the use of pranic healing included in a lot of physical, psychological headaches, starting as simple as headaches, flu, to going to ulcers, back pain, asthma, migraines, mental illnesses, multiple sclerosis, cancer, and much, much more. And there is a website right here. If you can see it on my screen, it's called Pranic Healing USA. You can go and visit this website for more information. Okay, moving on. How does pranic healing actually work? What is the principle behind it? Okay, let's move forward. So let's imagine you have an apple. You bought an apple from the store. Now, it's delicious, as you can see it. But at some time, you find there are tiny spots attached to it. So my question to you is, are you going to throw the entire apple because it has those 2 spots? What do you think? Are you going to do it? You can answer in Q&A or in the chat, because this might be an interactive session. So do you think you're going to throw the entire apple in it? Let's see what you've got. No, correct. We're not going to throw the entire apple, right? Okay, so what do we do? In this case, I've taken a picture of a bite, but either you can bite it or, let's see. Yeah, I would bite this. That's right. We would bite the part and spit it out. Good. Exactly. Or we could cut it out. Exactly. We do not throw the entire apple just because it had those 2 spots, right? So what we do is we take that part out, throw it out, and eat the whole thing. Pranic healing is somewhat the same. Apple is representing our energy body. With the 2 spots means that we have a physical or a mental ailment which has manifested in our energy body. If that energy body has a little defect, we just take it out, scoop out that part that doesn't work, and we refill it with the fresh energy. Imagine refilling the apple and you see a complete apple, and slowly and gradually the apple will be fine. Or, in other words, we can take that part out and you can still have your capacity because you are going to heal yourself, which we talked about as a basic in the technology which the God has given us, which is self-recovery. So that's one of the examples how pranic healing works. So in pranic healing, we would take out that energy, which is not working for you, fill it with a fresh energy, and your body recovers by itself. So we help in catalyzing. Moving forward, we're going to take another example. Okay, I don't know, it stopped working again. I will go back. All right. Oh, okay, there we go. Let's look at another example. So we have beautiful cheese. Wow, you have so many things in your life, right? We have our physical body, we have things we do physically, emotionally, mentally, right? Now, while it was there, now you see that there is the top part, which is now having something we do not eat. Well, actually, some people do eat it. Okay. So now, again, my question, are you going to throw away the entire block of cheese? What are you going to do? Now, this cheese has mold on the top. So are you going to throw the entire cheese? Does it look that the cheese inside is soiled? What would you do? Right? Probably. What would we do? Exactly. Cut the top out. Exactly. You're right on spot. I would take the part out and then maybe grate it and use it. Even if you don't want to eat it, you could grate it and use it in the food. When it melts, all the germs and everything is going to melt away, right? You can use it in cooking, even if you don't want to eat it, right? So these are 2 examples of how pranic healing works. In this case, we're going to scrape off the outer, and we're going to have a clean, healthy body. Now, there's 2 major differences between the 2 examples. One of which we had to scrape from inside of it, right? Which is it's already manifesting inside our body. In this one, it is something which is over and above our body. Sometimes when we are blocked, we carry stuff which keeps piling up, and it becomes like a huge, stuff on our heads. Have you ever felt that you're feeling heavy because of the stress, because of the emotions? Tell me in chat, do you feel sometimes that, something's irritating you and you're feeling like your body is very heavy? Like you can't move sometimes, or think maybe, right? Or sometimes you feel that, maybe it's a boil on the skin or something that's hurt. Do you ever feel such things in your body, in your physical and the emotional body? Yes, right? And it can get overwhelming. Thank you for sharing. Yes, absolutely. So in this case, we take off the excess. In that case, we had to remove it. In this case, there's an excess of energy which is not helping us. So we remove that part of the energy. And again, as we said, the body has an innate capacity to heal itself, right? So I believe this has a moment to share. And so, yeah. So I'm gonna try and work my presentation. I think it has a time limit to it. Anyway, so if you have any questions related to what I'm talking while this is being played, you can always type it in the chat. Let's see.
There is actually a question already, Coach Newport. What will be the difference between Pranic and Reiki?
Okay, good question. All right, so what's the difference between Pranic Healing and Reiki? Okay, Reiki was initially came out in yes. So Reiki is an energy healing modality again, but Pranic Healing is a little step up. In Reiki, we use the energy we have in our bodies, right? We presume that we have our energies in our bodies and we project that energies to heal others. Whereas in Pranic Healing, we believe that energy is everywhere. We do not use our energies. We use the energies which are there in the system, which means to say you actually do not deplete yourself. So in Pranic Healing, if I'm healing you, I would end up having more energy rather than less. So it is a more enhanced or more futuristic form of healing. It's a more modern way of healing. So basically, we have energies from the sun, from the earth, from the air we breathe in, from the food that you eat. So all those energies, we take the energies which are there in our system, and then we help heal the patient. So that is another major difference between the Reiki and Pranic Healing.
Thank you.
And as you're going to see, it's going to be it's more advanced form of healing. And yeah, so I'm just going to go share by share. I think it's better that I go share by share because it's for me. It's okay. So who is the founder of Pranic Healing? Okay. So who is the founder of Pranic Healing? So as we talk about it, let's move down. I don't know, something. So this is our Pranic Healing founder. He's Master Chua Koksui, who spent over 20 years. He was actually an engineer and a businessman who started this. And he went through all the modalities that you're talking about. It's not just Reiki. He went through many other modalities which are there in the Eastern and the Western part of the world. He combined all of that and developed this process. So this process is tested and tried. And one major difference between Pranic Healing and any other healing modality is he will not ask you to trust it. He would want you to experiment it, see for yourself, and then believe in it. This is one of the major things where we call it a modern way of healing. Okay, so this is there globally in many parts of the world. And as I talked about, okay, now why Pranic Healing and COVID? So development of concept of pods. We developed the concept of pods. As you see, we all have the energy system, which you've heard about in the other. And as you can see, how many centers do you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? That is another difference between Pranic Healing and Reiki. Most of the energy healing modalities talk about a 7-chakra system, whereas we believe in an 11-chakra system. There are mini chakras, there are nadis, the ones in your healing, in your what you call in your when you go into the hospital, we talk of arteries and veins in the physical body, right? But in healing modality, we talk of nadis, which means the energy channels. Okay, so we work just like you work on acupressure, right? This is something very similar to acupressure or acupuncture techniques. So we use the system of chakras and we use the system of nadis. Okay, to heal. So this is just a picture to show you 7, but in pranic healing, we have more than 7 chakras. So this is just an explanation of how pots came into being. We started healing together as healers. We started forming the groups, and the aim was to heal the patients because we could not go and heal the patients in the vicinity that we were, you know, the COVID situation where it was a no touch, you could not touch it, right? But we were, while the COVID was going on, we were healing the patients right from our homes, okay? And as far as my healing pod, we had around 100 healers, and we held about more than 500 families actually. And if I'll show you the link, you can go and check. There were 25,000 people that were healed in that. So it was started by Master Glenn, who's the Master Pranic Healer, Grandmaster, taught by Master Choa Koksui. This is Master Glenn. And he is the one that leads these pods. And our main center is in Lyndhurst, New Jersey. And this is where, from where we all about, do our stuff. So you can see it on the screen. You can ask me, I can share the links with you later on as well. That's the link. It's called masterglenn.com. How did a progression? And since I was stuck in India, we all know about these. I'm not going to talk about them. Fever, loss of smell, all these things that you see on the screen were those things that were happening at that point of time, right? Moving on. We all know about these drives, what happened during COVID, and so on and so forth. Okay, and these were at that point of time, US and India were the highly hit. And at that time, we had healers all over the globe, and we were healing in all these countries that I mentioned here. We had patients from all those countries. So what I'm trying to tell you here is it's distance healing as well. So I can be sitting here, I can be traveling to any part of the world, but I could still heal you. Okay, isn't that fantastic? So I don't have to be near you, but we were healing these patients. Okay, so this is the name of the project. It is called Project Hope for Healing. That's the name of the website, projecthopeforhealing.org. For more information, you can always go and check that. Okay, and that is where I am. That's my healing pod, and you can see my details in the Project Hope for Healing. Okay. Moving on, we've had loads of testimonials. I'm sorry, I promised, but right now could not include the testimonial. I was running short of time. But I worked with the doctors back in India, and that whole what do you call, the vicinity was under us. And the prime thing that we were supposed to do is just make sure that what do you call, we had to reduce the, just 1 second. Yeah, we had to reduce the morbidities that were happening because of the COVID. And that hospital had the highest success rate. And I have the testimonial from the doctor himself, who was the head of the team. I can share with you later on. Right now, it's not there in the presentation, but we have loads of miraculous healings and load of testimonials. If you can go and look with me on my Facebook pages, I've shared my testimonials there. Moving forward, learning from the entire scene. Okay, so oops. So again, pranic healing is not just physical healing. We talk more about spirituality as well, those of you who believe in it. Okay. Okay, we can talk about that, your question and answers later on. Okay, so in this, it is also a part of spirituality. It is a part of our spiritual growth. We have an entire system. And as we see, even the best money cannot buy everything. So what we do is there is a meditation called Twin Hearts Meditation, which me and Sandra have agreed we'll be doing sometime in the recent future. And it's a meditation we call Twin Hearts Meditation. So we do a lot of meditations online. We do a lot of group healings. We do erratic practices. I'm just telling you more about pranic healing as such, not about just the healing modality. So what all it incorporates. We have the esoteric studies. All these are a part of our, routine as such. Moving forwards, again, this talks about the Twin Hearts meditation, which I was talking about. So there is a lot of details on Twin Hearts meditation. The name of the website is pranichealingresearch.com. And it has another one is meditation on twin hearts. So there has been research done on this, how it is a metaphysical healing modality, how it not only helps in calming your mind, but it helps you in terms of cognitive functions. It helps you reducing stress, anxiety, all the depression. It has been very effective in cancer patients and all the severe ailments. It has proved, and there have been scientific studies. And if you want to read the entire details, you can go to the website and read about it, how it affects our brains. Something that came up to my mind, which I just want to talk about, is when it says about the brain, we often believe that as we age, then our brain cells, the neuroconnectors dissociate, right? But there are ways in which we can make sure by doing certain techniques that we can keep our mental health also high, which means there are, like, one of them is this meditation, but there are other ways in which we can make sure that our mental health is enhanced and our brain function doesn't, like all these things that we talk about, Alzheimer's and dementia, that help in reducing that. Okay, so we do talk about that as well in pranic healing. This is, we are doing another research, which is on quantum physics, and we're trying to prove that how energy healing and physical quantum mechanics can be correlated and proved, and I'm a part of the research team. And as you can see on the screen, the name of the website is qpps.org. And you can go and have a look. I'm actually going to be doing a research on this weekend in the center. So we are part of that. I've also been a part of research in the psychotherapy, reduction of stress, anxiety, and depression. There's also research going on cancer cells, how meditations and healing modalities help in the cancer cells. Right? So all these researches are on. You can read more about the research in the Pranic Healing Research website for more information. Moving on, pranic healing is a holistic approach. It helps in stress reduction, energy balancing, relaxation, pain management, emotional stuff, self-care, including resilience. And I also talked about the mental health, right? Enhanced healing. And the ninth step is very important that I want to mention here. It is a complementary approach. It is in no way meant to replace the medication or whatever things that you get yourself treated from a doctor or in the hospital or by the nurses. It's no way a replacement. It just adds. It's a complementary way of healing, which basically helps in holistic well-being. So when I'm healing, I'm helping the person to heal physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and at all levels. So it has a holistic approach to it. And that's it. I just talked about it. Okay, last but not the least, these are the courses that we run. I'm teaching a basic healing class. The next healing class that is coming, the class is coming up on the 19th, on the 20th of August. And the next one after that I'm doing is on the 11th and 12th of November. So it starts with the pranic healing, then there's advanced, there is psychotherapy, which helps in healing with emotions. There's crystal healing, which enhances the healing capacity, psychic self-defense, which helps you in protecting yourself, prosperity and abundance, which helps you in having your own prosperity. There's a spiritual aspect, which talks of higher soul. Then there's the Hatha yoga, which basically is a way of life. And just trust me, your life completely changes. You get more tools to how to heal yourself. Okay. Then there is clairvoyance, feng shui, and so on and so forth. You can see there's business management, Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, essence of man. It is not based on any particular religion or anything. It just aims at being a better human being. As far as I'm concerned, I call myself Coach Nupur. These are my handles. If you want to reach out to me, just Google Coach Nupur. I have my website on my Instagram, on my Facebook, Twitter. I have a YouTube channel you can sign to. Send me your questions, and you can contact me and set up an appointment if you want to take it further.
So thank you so much, Coach Nupur, for this presentation. And just to follow up with questions.
Yes.
Why, and before we start getting more questions from our attendees, can you walk us through a session of pranic healing? And I would like to know what to expect, right? So I know if I'm going for a massage, they're going to ask me to take my clothes off, give me a robe, lay down and massage me, right? If I go for a pranic healing session,
yes,
what happens?
Okay, great question. Thank you for asking that question. Okay, so as a patient, okay, you're just supposed to go and relax. Okay, there's nothing else. It's normally in a comfortable open position. And remember, it's a no-touch therapy, so we're not going to be touching you. All you have to do is, what I prefer to do is, I want my patients to sit, relax. We ask you to just uncross your hands and feet, which basically mean that when we cross our hands and feet, okay, this is one of the techniques you learn in psychic self-defense. We're actually saying no, thank you. So imagine, like, if you can see me, if I'm like this, that means I'm not open to it. Even as body language, we're not open to it. Like, so we ask you to, just be open and receptive. So basically, the only thing that is asked of a patient is to let us know about the history. Okay, what are the conditions that you're going through? And history is very important so that we can take care of the other aspects, right? So I would need you to come, sit, share your details, just relax, just sit comfortably, close your eyes. If you want, I prefer that you do a meditation. So I would ask you to sit and meditate while I'm doing a healing on you. And that's pretty much it. And then I'm going to ask you how you feel before it. How do you feel after it? So basically, I'm going to scan your energies. I'm going to see where the issues are. I'm going to go back and look at the symptoms you have. I'm going to go back, look at the history that you've had. And based on that, I'm going to be healing your chakras, your energy body, and balancing them. And at the end of the session, you would feel more calm, relaxed, and hopefully, unless it's a long-term issue, it takes a little while. But if it's as simple as like you feeling too stressed, sometimes stress can go even in one session. But if it's a prolonged stress, remember, if it's a prolonged stress, you'll end up having migraines, right? Did you know even asthma is emotion-based? Did you know diabetes is emotion-based? Did you know that? So at the end of it, all these physical ailments have an emotional component for it. So once you finish the healing, you'll be more relaxed, comfortable, and you would have a shift of how you're feeling in your body.
Now, you also were talking about, let's go back to your presentation for a minute. and you were talking about patients that you were able to heal from COVID. Was that by just doing pranic healing, or was that in combination to medications and treatments?
Right. As a healer, I'm not a doctor, okay? So I'm not going to recommend anything, and nor am I going to tell you to take away any medication, okay? That's the job of a doctor, right? As a healer, we never tell you to get off the medication. So as I said, this is complementary. We complement what you do as a doctor or as a nurse or as a hospital. So all the patients that we heal, they were going through a normal healing, a normal medication, whatever they were being. Like, there were so many critical patients that were having the ventilators, right? That were having, incisions everywhere in their bodies and everything. So no, we did not ask them to get off from that. It was in combination with whatever the doctors were recommending or doing.
So the patients that were doing the regular treatment and pranic healing recovered a lot faster or better than the ones that weren't doing the pranic healing.
Absolutely. It acts as a catalyzer.
Okay.
So we are not here to replace the medicine, the normal medicine. We're here to complement it.
Now, you also, during your presentation, you said something that got my attention. You said, and I guess we're more used to Reiki and massage, where we know we have energy that we try to put on somebody else to heal, right? But you said that you are able to get all this energy from the exterior of you in the environment. So how is that possible? And I guess obviously you got lots and lots of training for that, and I'm asking here the 1 million questions, but just it's hard to imagine something like that. It's such an abstract concept, so I don't know if you will be able to explain that so that we know what's happening.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, so I have a question for everybody. You can type it in the chat, okay? Think of a day when the weather was gloomy outside, okay?
Gloomy, okay.
Right? There are clouds, there's clouds, it's raining, and it's like, okay, it goes on for 2-3 days. How would you feel in your body and in your emotions? Okay, so think of that day, right? Now, think of another day when there is sunlight and you walk out into the sun. Think of the summer season or the spring season. When do you think you have more energy? How do you feel more ecstatic? Which time of the year? Tell me. In the sunny day or a gloomy day?
No, well, that's why they're called the blues, right? I mean, we definitely feel a lot happier and better on a sunny day than on a gloomy day. Yeah.
Do you know why?
Not really, no. I mean, I think it's something that has to do with the sunlight that enters your body, and there makes serotonin and vitamin D and all of these. Yeah.
It's the sun energy. It's the sun energy which actually penetrates in you and gives you the energy. And when there are clouds and it's gloomy, then you don't have you heard, like, when I remember living in Switzerland and we were talking about the number of suicides people were having, or the depression cases. So think of the places where there are colder regions, right? Compare the suicide rates there versus the areas where you have enough heat, enough sunlight. That's a very good example of how there's an energy shift, how there's an energy difference, right? So that. Secondly, if you're going high up on a hill, right? What happens?
Oxygen.
What happens to the oxygen?
It reduces the oxygen.
So do you find it harder to breathe? So basically, what is oxygen? Oxygen is a kind of air prana. It's an air energy which you breathe in, right? So if there is less of oxygen, you're going to feel depleted, or you're going to feel lack of energy, right? So that's called air prana. Sun prana, air prana, right? Okay, some of you, have you walked on the ground? Think of walking on a cemented floor versus walking in the park. Tell me, where do you feel more strong energy? Tell me, how do you feel? Do you feel more enlightened on walking on a cemented floor or out in the nature, walking in the grass?
I will say definitely grass, right? When you feel the grass under your feet, it feels great.
That's what is earth prana. That is what is ground prana. It is the energy of the ground, energy of the plants. Have you heard of people going and hugging the plants?
Yeah.
That's energy. So we have energy all across us. We just need to use it properly. Did I answer your question though?
Yes. So we're getting there. So, okay. So I getting there, and I guess I sit on the ground. I don't know why I'm thinking about that right now, just because I like sitting on the ground probably, but I sit on the ground, and you're asking me to start kind of meditating, or are you guiding that meditation?
Yes, it's a guided
Okay.
meditation.
Also, you are guiding that meditation, so you're able, through that meditation, you're able to bring that ray of sun,
Energy.
grass under my feet, and all of that, and I kind of start feeling all these things to feel better.
Okay. So when we are doing a meditation, okay, I'm going to explain, has a more spiritual aspect to it. So if you believe in a higher soul, somebody higher above, right? It doesn't matter what religion, as long as you believe there's a higher entity higher above, right? So we have the source of energy which comes down on us. Okay. And when it comes down on us, we guide it to flow through all your system. Okay. So this is right now, this is not about the air prana or the sun prana. It is more about the divine energy, the energies that are coming down from high above. We use that energy. That's another kind of energy which helps us heal ourselves. You've heard of mindful meditation, right? You've
Yes.
heard of calming yourself down. So basically what it does is we have a clutter in our brain. We have our thoughts going on. So the moment we bring and focus ourselves on our inner self, okay, our body heals faster. Because there's more energy inside our body that helps in healing. So we basically, when you are meditating, when you are calming your body during meditation, it is faster to remove any blockages. Imagine a blockage in the artery. Okay, if there is a blockage in the artery and it's not connecting, what would you do? You would remove that and connect it, right? Right?
Yeah.
It's similar. So I would remove that blockage which is there in your system, and then more energy would flow through it. And as more energy would flow through it, it will help in catalyzing healing faster. Okay. So basically, when I'm going to be using from the environment. I'm going to invoke my angels, asking for the sun energy. I'm going to be using the energies that are there around me. I'm going to do an invocation and ask the blessings, and then I'm going to be healing you.
And something else that you said was that many other techniques use 7 chakras. You
Yes.
use 11 chakras. So
Yes.
First of all, excuse my ignorance, I always hear about chakras and I don't really know exactly what they are. So could you explain what chakras are, and then why there are more with pranic healing?
Okay, it's a good topic. Let me see if I can find you a chakra system. Let's see. So let me see if I can find you. Okay. So let's come back to this right now. I will see if I can find you a picture of that. If I can, I will show it to you. Okay. So having said that, let me talk about, just 1 second. I can find let's see. Okay, I can't find it right now. Okay, so when we have our major organs in our body, right? Just as we have major organs in our bodies, each body is affiliated to a chakra. So chakra, what is chakra? Chakra is basically like a whirlpool of energies. Okay, so basically each major organ is governed by a chakra. Now chakra is basically an energy center. Just like you have an organ in the system, In energy body, it's a chakra. It's like an organ of an energy body. Okay, so that's how it's a simple way. Okay, 12, yes. Okay, there you go, a 12 chakra system. Thank you for sharing that.
I'm trying.
Now I have one in the what do you call, in our system, which we use. I was trying to figure out. Okay, so as you can see, there are different chakras in it. And look here, we are talking of the 12th chakra. So actually pranic healing is based on the 12th chakra system, but we don't talk about it because 12th chakra is for the higher awareness, is for the spirituality. So when we say the higher thing, we have a chakra where we have a chakra that takes care of the divine energies coming in front, on our heads. Okay, then we have a chakra on our forehead. Have you heard of the third eye?
Oh yeah, right here, no?
So, yes, that's right. So that's called the forehead chakra. That chakra helps us in the mental faculty. That helps us in the mental faculty growth. Okay. Then we have something which is called an Ajna chakra, which is right in between our eyebrows. Okay. So that chakra helps us in what you call making a decision for the willpower. How does our willpower work? Okay. So that's what it defines it. Then we move forward. Then we have our throat chakra. So what our throat chakra does is it helps us in, the communication aspect, or some people are more, detail oriented. Have you heard, seen people that are more detail oriented?
Yeah.
So
Every day.
those people have a very strong throat chakra, more critical thinking, or like some people complain a lot, right? So that's the throat chakra, which is related to our expression. Okay, so that's what it is. It is related to our expression. Okay, so having said that, we move on. Then we have our heart chakra. Heart chakra is basically when we deal with love for ourselves. So there are two main chakras which we use in Twin Hearts meditation. And why Twin Hearts meditation? Because we have one physical heart, but we have to love ourselves, but we also have to love our higher source, which is love for the community. Like we love our families too, right? Like if you're a nurse, you would be doing so much for your patients, right? So that is love for everybody else. So we have to love ourselves first, and then the love for the community. So we have a heart that connects the two, right? Then we have, which is called a solar plex chakra. What is the solar plex stuff? All the emotional stuff. So if a person is very emotional, that's the chakra that's affected. Okay. And as we go down, then we have the navel chakra. The navel chakra takes care of your gut. So anybody having a digestive issue, is basically that's where it is affected. Then we have something which is called our sacral chakra, which takes care of our sexual desires, our procreations, right? Then there's a basic chakra, which is at the back, okay? And at the back, that takes care of your physical health. Like somebody who's very active, an athlete, will have a bigger chakra than a person who doesn't exercise. But it also our prosperity energy, which means a person who is very famous will have a very high, very energetic basic chakra. Then we have lots of other chakras, like one of them is the spleen chakra. Okay, basically spleen is the energy catalyzers. It helps in distributing the energy so that you can heal faster. So have you seen people who have illnesses, their spleen is affected or their liver is affected?
Of course.
Right? So that's one of the major chakras that is affected, right? And solar plex also takes care of your so solar plex, which is at the center of our chest, is the most important chakra. And most of you, have you heard when you're stressed, do you feel it in your chest? Do you feel the heaviness in your chest?
Either the chest or the shoulders, the back, right. The neck. So,
right. Why these places? Have you ever thought of that? The chest, because it is our emotional support system. It also holds our diaphragm. It holds the major organs, even our like our heart, our our stomach, our liver, right? All these places are right in the middle of the body, right? Most of them. Why in the shoulder?
Mhm.
Why in the shoulder?
I don't know, stress now, like you cringe, I guess.
Yes. Imagine you're holding something on top of your hand. Okay, so if you were to do an exercise and hold your hand like this, okay, what's going to happen at the end of the, say, for 10 minutes? Can you do that like that? What's
Yeah,
going to happen?
we're gonna be in pain, of course. Yeah.
Right. Do you realize how much of emotional responsibilities that you're holding on your shoulders and your neck?
Probably all of it.
So there goes your answer. All the things that we feel responsible for it, it all gets stored up here. And sometimes it starts paining. It starts physically manifesting as pain in the shoulder, the spondylitis. So it will even affect your brain functioning, because remember, it's the main connecting system right from your brain down to your spine, right?
Mhm.
It can affect any part of your body. It might start with the shoulder. So there are many things which are unexplained, which energy healing can explain it to you.
Yeah, I see. Well, thank you so much. This has been very enlightening. Like, I didn't know a lot of these things. So at least to me, it's been great. And I know that for a lot of our attendees, they've been learning about, and I guess I'm just gonna say the best way to really learn about pranic healing is trying it. So that we know what it feels like and how it goes and all of that. I think that all sort of Oriental energy healing is great. It's amazing. So thank you, Coach Napur, for enlightening us with one more way of energy healing. And we have your contact information. So if anybody
Yes,
wants to reach
right.
out to Coach Napur, you
That's
will
my
have
email ID.
the information. And thank you to all of our attendees, as usual, for being with us. Next week in Community Chats, we're going to be talking about pediatric development. So we're going to have a doctor who's a neurosurgeon talking about the different milestones for babies and what we need to do as parents to make sure that our kids reach their full potential, and how to identify if there are some issues happening with them to treat them promptly. So thank you so much. Thank you to all my attendees for being here once again, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Bye-bye.